Hey, just wanted to do this quick video. Wanted to go ahead and pretty much have a lot of people grasp a bigger vision by somebody that has a higher altitude in business. Nick here has been one of my best friends the last few years. Ever since I met him, I absolutely fell in love with the guy. What he stands for, what the company that he's built, and stuff like that. He's actually going to tell you guys a little bit about it. And the video is really around the winning edge, really. He's one of the most competitive guys that I know. In fact, we're out here chilling here in Vegas at his mansion that I stay here all the time every time I come out, and it's always have a good time. And Nick, I thank you so much for being in this video. I wanted people to get to know you a little bit and get into your head as far as what you've done and what you've been able to go ahead and accomplish. Tell us a little bit about your company.
We are a company called Real Social Dynamics. We're the world's largest dating coaching company, publisher of programs, including live events that take place over 1,000 times a year in 270 cities and 70 countries. We're one of the fastest growing companies on the West Coast. We're based out here in the West Coast. We're based in LA and Las Vegas. And we have a series of guys who travel around the world, taking guys out to bars and clubs where they're your wingman. And they teach you how to meet girls and dating advice. We also have books, DVDs, CDs, webinars, and a hotel on the Strip where people pay a monthly fee, live right on the Las Vegas Strip, and have like a full program. You know, they get health and fitness training, they go out to the hot clubs, they get coaching about lifestyle development, how to meet girls, and video seminars based upon their videos where we actually video record them out trying to practice their skills meeting girls and critique it, kind of like a sports commentator watching a football game.
In fact, that's how you met your wife, right?
Well, I met my wife using some of the stuff I learned from our company. I walked up to my wife, she was walking one way, I was walking the other, and I started the conversation. We teach guys how to do that.
Nice. One of the things that I think that I've admired a lot about Nick over the years, it's just really how much his company has survived through the recession. It's almost bulletproof compared to most companies that are out there. And I would tell you a lot of it has to do with the mindset of a CEO, which is kind of what I wanted to talk about in this video today, as far as like what are the things that you have done in order to to go ahead and create a win environment with your company, to go ahead and have the kind of networks that you have. I mean, you have billionaires on your dial, speed dial, that I've known of. I've been able to meet a lot of great people the last few years thanks to Nick. Just really world-class people. And what motivated you to get into business for yourself?
I think a lot of it had to come from the fact that I didn't feel like I found a right place for me to actually do work for other people from a young age. And I also think that a lot of it was due to the fact that we found a service that nobody wanted to create or put into work in organizing. I think in terms of why I became in the leadership role is because no one wanted to step up and do it in my situation. I know there's a lot of people who want to be leaders, want to be entrepreneurs, but it takes a lot of work, a lot of initiative. A lot of people want to be entrepreneurs, but they don't want to put in the hard work, and they also don't find the right people to team up with. And I think that one of the things that I really want to do is build a large network of people so I could choose the right people to work with. When I created this company, I invested in not necessarily the idea, but the team of people. People that I primarily thought were not just talented, but had a really positive outlook on life, had trust, had loyalty.
Right.
Because I think that the skills that you learn, anyone could learn those skills. Of course, you want to have people that had competency. But there's like a certain amount of competency that you need before you could really accelerate them. If they had an open mind and desire for education, they could push forward. I would say like in my situation, we created this company just because there was no service that was out there doing what we were doing that I myself wanted to learn this service. I myself didn't know the social skills or dating skills or whatever. I had always a natural desire to really focus on networking ever since I was 18 years old and went to college and really pushed myself. And as a result, I was always trying to build large networks of people, of acquaintances, and then build deeper relationships with those people that I wanted to get deeper with. And I kind of built that into my business life, where I was always trying to seek out people that could teach me stuff. In my company, I was seeking out people that were good at dating advice. So I would travel around the world just to try to meet these people and actively and aggressively try to reach out to people. And I did the same thing in the business world, to reach out to people who I thought could help out, because I always found that people want to teach other people, whether they get anything out of it or not, because it's a lot of fun. And I'm in the education business, and my parents are in the education business, and I think that just from seeing my family, they're retiring, and my mom has even been a teacher, and a lot of my other relatives are teachers, and they teach for fun. They don't even get paid. They teach as volunteers, and I think that naturally goes even for business executives, CEOs, business people, and whenever there's something I haven't really a deep grasp of, I always found it easier for me to learn from meeting with these people and getting my specific questions answered quickly and timely, as opposed to other people who learn really well from reading books. I've spent tons of my time going to seminars and networking with people and just reaching out to them, because it seems like everyone's willing to help. You'd be surprised when you reach out to some of the most powerful people in the world, just ask them a question or ask them for help. Most of them are really glad that you ask. Most people don't get approached for help. And when you do, and you do it from the right frame, they're eager. I think a lot of people will either not ask, or they'll ask, but not from the standpoint that they want to be able to share the value offering. Like when I want to learn from other people, I want to make sure that I also could somehow give back, or offer them friendship, or offer them a chance to network with other people that I've networked with, or doing whatever I can to also try to offer value whenever I can as well. But when I first started, I didn't really have that much.
In fact, you went into debt, as I understand, right,
Mm-hmm.
to be able to go ahead and build your business. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I built my company like most people. They started kind of like from the ground up, and I built it on credit cards and loans. And it was something that most people will have to do. Most people don't have family backing or angel investors, and I don't think you need that. Like, most people could do it from the ground up. I also think a lot of people could just do it from taking deposits from clients. I think the biggest mistake most people do is that they try to build a business not necessarily about what the clients want, but what they think the clients want, and they don't get that first customer. If they get the customer to buy the product, they can always critique it later, or even just interview the customers and say, hey, is this what you want? And take deposits, and then build the product around that. That's how I built my first product. I took a $200 deposit on a $600 program, and we built the program based upon what people wanted by using these $200 deposits. Even collecting a few of those, though, wasn't enough to really build our company, so we had to also use a lot of my credit card debt. That stuff will last you to the startup phase and allow you to build the company so that you can do it from the ground up. I know other people will try to get investors and try to grow their company a lot faster, but you can still grow your company pretty fast. What I try to do is I try to target 20% growth year to year. I know that allows you to double the size of your company every 4 years. And from the very beginning, I just tried to make it so I could cover enough of my expenses to stabilize and then just grow from there. There'll be ups and downs also, so having a backup plan is always good too.
One of the things that I think you said that was really interesting to me is how many people are really wanting to be entrepreneurs, are not willing to really take the step up and do what they need to do in order to do it. A lot of times it's really forking out the money that you may or may not have. A lot of times it's really putting that extra work into learning something, which amazes me. And one of the things that I think you also said was the fact it really amazes me when I hear somebody say to me, how do I make $1 million, or how do I make a lot of money? And you got all these billionaires that have written books on step by step exactly the things that they've done to build their company, and a lot of this stuff is even free. I mean, that's out there as far as how to go out and build it. But what do you think the average person needs to do to get that extra motivation for them to take their business to the next level and maybe break through that 7-figure mark?
Sure.
Or even that 6-figure mark for the very beginning. I remember for me that was a big step years and years ago.
Yeah, for our company, we did about $600,000 to $700,000 our first year, and then we broke $1 million the following year. and we would have broken $1 million the first year if we actually worked every month, but we took a lot of time off to go on vacation and travel around. For us, it was to try to create a schedule of events. I don't know if other people have better physical products, but I mean to create the inventory and then just try to sell it as fast as we could, as rapidly as we could, but do it while we were staying cash flow positive. That's why I'm always a fan of taking money first, but trying to deliver the product as soon as possible.
The delivery, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And for us also, we had people that we knew we could work really well, work together as a team, but do it very cheaply. In fact, most of our people work for us for free for the first 3 months or more. Just because they want to be a part of something cool, a movement with a chance of upward mobility in a startup environment. A lot of people like their freedom of traveling as opposed to an office more so than the money. So I found that even now, in our company size, people will gladly work for 3 months, 6 months, or longer for free.
Absolutely,
just to get involved, just to get the work experience and to learn, and also to be a part of something that they believe in. If they believe you have the right people, you have the right vision, you have a good product or service, they'll do that. And I think that even today, that has been the #1 key to our success. I don't think that without a volunteer network would work out.
So the other things that I was going to ask you also is now a lot of people will actually, it amazes me how many people have blamed the economy, that their business has failed or that they're not getting sales or right, whatever it is with their business. You've actually survived through all those dips of the market and stuff like that. And I think a lot of it has to do with just the kind of character that you have and you leading your company by, in the front. How did you do that?
Sure. When the recession hit, it definitely hit us hard because we were expecting growth and we were building a company on expected growth. And that was definitely an error that we don't want to make again. We are trying now to build a company always based upon our current situation without a forecast of expected growth, whenever we can at least. And when we can't, because there are times where we leverage ourselves, we try to do so minimally. I know that when the recession did happen, though, we did have to cut a lot of costs. So, I mean, some of the things that we had to do was cut 80% of the hours from our staff. That really hurt hard. I know even the government did it for 20% of their hours. My brother works in the California government, and he had that where 1 day out of the week he had to take off time. Now, in my situation, I took out 4 days out of the week for some of my non-essential people and took out 1 day a week for my essential people. I also had to totally revamp everything. When the business gets tough in the recession times, you have to change the business model. So for us, we went from a company that was focused on teaching local events in Los Angeles to realizing that the reason why people were not buying our programs was because they didn't want to fly to us. So we flew to 270 cities in 6 months and taught programs in their cities so that they could save money on flights, they could work harder. We also started focusing more on digital products and other home study courses and large group seminars as opposed to what we were doing in the past, which is more one-on-one coaching.
Absolutely.
Now, in other kinds of businesses, there could be other things that are causing bottlenecks, whether it's like a physical product business or a service business. I guess every single business is different, but you have to completely revitalize everything. Also, you have to take the hard knocks and deal with a lot of stress and be willing to do that and not lose hope, not give up. Even when everything looks like it's going to fail, you just have to have the mindset that nothing's going to take you down no matter what. Make that decision, because it really is just a decision, and then just win. And when you're losing things, whether it's staff or whether it's resources or money and things tying up, there's always a way to work it so that your business survives. And it's going to happen on a regular basis. I know every 10 years there's usually some kind of financial crisis of some kind. So preparing for that definitely helps a lot. Also finding the right people that help you out, because sometimes there's people that have done a good job of preparing for these situations, that have stepped in and helped us on a financial level and also on a support level. And having these people to help you do that in your life is also very powerful.
How did you create? I think one of the big things that I see your company do is that there's a lot of you've been able to create a brand for yourself where it's recognized worldwide amongst entrepreneurs also. How did you create that winning environment? And I know that Tony Hsieh actually has that also with Zappos. How did you create a winning environment or that type of synergy between your guys where they're sold out together towards a common goal, right? Even though they all have their own techniques of doing however they do the business, but how did you create it towards where they're sold out into just one company and building that?
When we created the company, we created teams. We call it teams too, so that people could work together to come up with a strategy overall. As a result, these teams, whether it's a sales team or marketing team, they have a lot of freedom. Yet at the same time, I built this company where I kind of know, for the most part, 80% of what everyone is doing, because I've done it before. So when we needed a sales rep job, I was doing the sales myself. When we did finance, I was doing it myself. And I was learning it so I could have a basic foundation. Now our company is much larger now, so it's impossible for me to know everything or do everything or know who is doing what all the time. But by having that background, that allowed me to get my hands dirty and know how things are supposed to get accomplished, have a reference experience, reference points about everything. In terms of overall vision and strategy, I remember I did do an exercise with Tony Hsieh, you mentioned him, about getting everyone on the same page to see the corporate culture and how things work, because I think that everyone does need to get on the same page. And that's also why we have regular team meetings. The exercise he had us do was he had us write the 3 nouns that represent your company's values and mission and what we're all about. And we had my board of directors in town, and each one of us wrote 3 different words. And his point was to show us that no matter how close we would work together, we all look at things differently. And as a result, I've also found that if I don't have regular meetings, like large group meetings with everyone on the team, things just don't get done, especially with the key executives like my business partner. If I don't meet with him in person for a full day meeting, going over the ins and outs, in addition to regular meetings all the time. We live in different cities, we meet on the phone. If I don't do that, then it doesn't keep the trust and rapport and keep us on the same page. And I'm trying to do that as much as I can with my staff. Now, as the company grows, it's harder and harder to do that, and I have to find people I trust to also do that for me. But then I'm definitely in touch with those people as regularly as possible. And with our company, we're a virtual company. I even will fly all around the world to meet these people. I flew to Hong Kong and Dallas and LA all in the same week. This week, for example, to meet up with my co-president, my chief marketing officer, my vice president of operations. And I'm willing to do this because I see the value in the face-to-face meetings and building that trust, building that rapport, and getting us all on the same strategic level. And you always brainstorm together.
Right.
So that helps a lot.
In fact, finishing up talking about traveling, I mean, this guy has absolutely traveled the world. Last week, as you just heard, I was actually texting him, and he was in Hong Kong. And you've traveled to how many cities in a short period of time?
Well, I know in 2008, during the recession, in order to counteract the recession, because I had a huge amount of debt racked up, and we eliminated that debt in about 6 months, because in 6 months I did go to 270 cities in 70 countries. In 5 years I went to 110 countries, and I was continually networking with people, doing sales presentations, hiring people. I'd travel sometimes to 3 different cities in the same day.
Right.
Sometimes even 3 different countries.
Absolutely. It's been done.
Yep, and I got engaged to my wife on my 100th country. And I love travel. It's been a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Well, I hope you guys grabbed a pretty good concept of what it takes to be able to build a amazing, huge company. Literally, the reason why a lot of these guys just see a higher vision is because of just altitudes that we've been able to go by and stuff like that. But at the same time, as you can see, we've all had a beginning. We've all had a start as far as when we started, and just at the end of the day, it's a lot of just hard work ethic, and being able to go ahead and just be tenacious. You'll go through a lot of frustration before it's all said and done building your business. And, but at the end, by the time it's all said and done, you can just look back and be like, you know what? I did all this stuff, and at the end, it was just all worthwhile. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Have a great night.
Well, thanks for the interview.
For sure.